Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Nourish by Claudia channel. And I am once again so stoked to have my partner in crime, best friends, an incredible podcaster, personal trainer, and mindset coach, Jade Cameron, with me today to discuss training, and also fear of training, especially when in hypothalamic amenorrhea or after hypothalamic amenorrhea. But before I go on, welcome, Jade. How are you doing? How is life on your side of Australia?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy just to see you. We had our beautiful rhythm of lives and podcasts going pre-Ruben, and I feel since he's blessed my little world with his soul, I barely see you. So I'm super happy to be here and talking about training, one of my favorite things. And of course, HA. My side of the world, it's a beautiful chaos, is the best way to summarize it.
Yeah, and I can relate to that. And I thought that the hardest thing was actually getting pregnant. And then I thought that the hardest thing was giving birth and then having one child and then having two children. And it's always hard, but it's always very beautiful. Like there is beauty in every single challenge in life. And obviously, hindsight is so precious. And I wish that I
Mm.
could go back 10 years in time and actually give a pat to myself in the back then and just tell myself that I was doing a fantastic job. But anyway, we work, we go. But now let's talk about training because, as I mentioned before, you are a personal trainer, you're a mindset coach. We have been working together on the period comeback protocol. We have helped hundreds of women to recover the period, to get pregnant, or to really change their disorder behaviors around food and training. And from your perspective, what do you think that is the biggest misconception when it comes to training and women's health, hormonal health, especially in the hypothalamic amenorrhea space that you have noticed until now?
It would have to be the idea that we think we're broken. And the
Mm.
fact that we've lost our period in the first place means that our body can never be resilient to stress again. And therefore, we can't do the heavy lifting, we can't do the fast sprints, we can't do all these things. When the reality is, we are more capable of ever before because often this process makes us a lot more willing to learn about what we need to do in order to be successful with exercise and training. Where in the past, perhaps we were well educated, but we put too many things in the basket. So what I mean by that is you might have been fasting and doing low carbohydrate and doing no fat and doing HIIT training and all the things get laid on, right? Which is all too much.
Mm.
And once we've gone through HA, we're more open to the fact of, maybe I went a little bit overboard, maybe I did this, maybe I did that. So moving forward, when women are a lot more open to information and they're willing to try, they often find that their body has got the capacity to navigate stress and to navigate exercise better than ever before. But I think the biggest misconception is that we can't and therefore we don't explore it. And I think that's a bit sad because plenty of women who have joined us in the protocol will often say, I can't ever go back. And we sort of go, well, why? And I want to be clear, to a degree, no, you won't go back, because if you go back to doing the things that caused your HA, it will come back. But there is a way you can be as strong as ever before, as fast as ever before, and still have your cycle, but it's not from guessing.
Mm. And HA recovery is multifaceted. So what I've noticed in the past few years, it's never only the exercise, it's never only the diet, it's never only
Mhm.
the stress, it's a combination of things. And if you work through all of them, there is no reasons why a woman cannot go back and train even harder than she was training before. And I'm not talking about
Mhm.
adding in more days or adding in more cardio sessions. Both of us are really passionate about weight training.
Mhm.
And I think that there is a capacity for a woman after recovering from HA to actually really have a better understanding of how her body works. And from
Mhm.
that place, can definitely improve her performance in life and in training. Now, a very juicy question. Do you think that a woman needs to stop training altogether in order to get her period back? If she doesn't have a timeline, meaning if she doesn't want to get pregnant within 2 months, let's say, but even only if she's doing this to support her well-being, because she's very mindful of bone health, cardiovascular health, and all the other things.
Yeah, I love this question. Thank you. I think if someone is fertility focused and they want to be pregnant as soon as possible, it can be very helpful to reduce exercise as much as possible, just because we know it does have a stress response. And when you really do want to fast track pregnancy, reducing your exercise down, it does fast track it. It's just the reality. But I think that's where it's really important to have an open conversation with women about what they want, why they want it, and how soon they want it. Because we see all kinds of women, Claudia, and they have all different pursuits and goals with their HA recovery. So our answer for someone who wants to fall pregnant as soon as possible is different to someone who wants to continue training throughout their recovery and get their period while training. Because we have the conversation, it's like, well, if you want to continue training, there is protocols we can follow so that your body isn't being pushed to the absolute limits every single session and having no rest days and under fueling. Instead, we go, okay, well, in order to allow your energy balance to kick in, because I think that's something that women forget, we're not actually trying to gain weight, because that's the language, isn't it? It's like, I need to gain weight, I need to get fat. Not really. We're trying to match your energy balance. And the easiest way to match your energy balance is to bring down some of the excessive amount of exercise to a reasonable amount. And that could be training multiple times a week. Once we've had that conversation with women, we can then decide, well, what is training going to look like for you, given you are willing to make changes to your training, and depending on how much leeway there is with nutritional changes. Because another thing we know when we're finding energy balance is even if you reduce your exercise, if you're not eating enough, it's difficult to recover. But when women are really receptive and they're willing to change their nutrition and keep the training in, we see incredible results, because once again, we're trying to meet the nutritional balance, we're trying to meet the energy expenditure. And if your body is getting all those boxes ticked, you can have the best of both worlds. But to your point, when it comes to timelines, it's very important for us as coaches, as a nutritionist, to define exactly what women want so that we can help them get there on the best path possible.
And I'm so happy that you said that, because sometimes women, they do delay recovery and they're really afraid of approaching us because they think that we're going to make them fat, that we are going to push their comfort zone, and we're going to ask them to stop doing whatever they are doing and to start eating more and not exercising, basically, which is really against what we are doing. Because all we want is making sure that women are in the optimal state of health. And to be in the optimal state of health, sometimes it requires to move through the day, to up the caloric intake, but not to gain fat just because of it, basically. And
Absolutely.
yeah, and Jade, I'm sure that you've heard it plenty of time, women coming to us and saying, but I'm just doing 2 training sessions a week. I'm just doing 2 weight training sessions a week. And I already know what you're going to say, but what would you ask that kind of person if she came up to you and said, I'm not really doing much. I don't feel any exertion when I go through my training program. So I don't think that that's impacting my chances of getting a period.
Look, our body doesn't lie, right? If we don't have a period, it's a very clear signal our energy balance is off. So whether you're training 2 times a week, whether you're doing 12 sessions a week, the energy balance is off. So it's easy for women, and I say this in a very loving way, to create stories to justify their choices. So that idea of, but I'm only training twice a day, so it can't possibly be that. But if you're training twice a week, which does sound like not much, but you're also doing 20,000 steps a day, you are underslept, you are fasting, or you're under eating, you're skipping carbohydrates, maybe you're having incredibly low fats, well, then suddenly your 2 sessions a week is enough to throw out your energy balance because you're not catering to your body's needs. Claudia, I mean, we've had HA ourselves. How many different stories did we have over that timeline justifying our choices? And God, we were good at it, right? If I go back and tell myself all the stories that for eating disorder things, for training obsession, and they were good stories, and I believed them. And until I had those little glass shattering moments where I finally called myself out on my BS and went, okay, maybe I'm just a good storyteller.
And what are a few things that women normally try when it comes to recovering their period that don't work unless you make sure that the core foundations are taken care of? And I'm just going to give you an example from my perspective. Supplements.
Mm.
Expensive. Sometimes wise supplementation is recommended. But normally I look at nutrition and I work with food and I have a look at the training program before jumping on supplements, obviously. Is there anything else that comes to mind?
As in ways that we're
We try,
selling ourselves short.
yeah, exactly. That we try to put a band-aid on top of what is actually going on, and we're trying to shortcut the process.
Yeah, look, supplements is one of the best ones, and I must admit, I love acupuncture. I think it's incredible and it played a huge part in my recovery. But when women rely solely on acupuncture to get their period back without making any training or dietary changes, it's not enough. There's certainly a place for it, but essentially, again, everything comes back to energy balance. So that's where we love what we do, Claudia, and we make such a good team because we're helping women find the energy balance. If you want to continue training, well, you need to nourish yourself to suit your training. And again, that doesn't mean get fat, gain fat. It means meet your energy requirements. And where the magic is, if you're training properly and you're eating properly, watch your body composition change in the way that you want it to, right? Like I think about my HA recovery and I wish, well, I don't want to do it again, but if I was to do it again, I would have a completely different approach because I've learned so much now and I've seen so many other women recover and I thought I couldn't do both and I can. I just need to trust the information. And you
Yes.
know what? That's probably the next thing that I think sabotages women's recovery. And that's the idea that because we so willingly fell into all of these health and fitness advice that led us here, there's a real distrust between accepting any new information. So when we're told, if you actually eat more, train less, your body composition will change for the better, we get very guarded over this idea. That can't possibly be right. Because one, I was fed all of this information that goes against it. And second of all, I'm not even sure if I trust any information because the last time I did, here's where I ended up. But the reality is, if you're willing to put the time and the energy into training properly and eating properly, knowing that both are unique to you, like how we teach one woman to eat and train is different how we teach the other to eat and train because their lifestyle factors are different, right? Which leads into the next one. So many women are afraid of what we're going to say, but we work to what you want, right? We're here to help you create the lifestyle that you want and to eat the way you want. So it's not about us being like, do this, do this. We're here to go, okay, here's the protocol. How do we customize it so it works for you? And then we get the best result.
And we both walk the talk because we
Yeah.
came from a place of hypothalamic amenorrhea, and both of us are training weekly, sometimes up to, I don't know about you right now, Jade, because with Ruben and your life being a little bit different, but I have upped my training to 4 times a week. I've upped
I'm so excited.
yeah, I'm so excited because
You
finally
told me about it and I was like,
well, I
the best.
feel stronger. And I get so much excitement out of my training. And I've noticed that since I started, I had to up my caloric intake by quite a lot. And the more I eat, the more energy I have in my training sessions, and the more energy I have for my family, and the more energy I have for my clients. And that's basically what we are trying to do with our clients. We had women that came from a place of undernourishment, overtraining, that had to change their training routine for quite a while to then go back to exercising 4 times a week in the gym. Sometimes it was running a marathon if that's what they really wanted to do. But that's ultimately what we are trying to do. Is not about making sure that women stop what they're doing for 3 months in order to get the period back, making sure that they eat whatever is in front of them so they're gonna gain enough fat. No, it's quite the opposite. The way that I look at it, which is a very holistic approach, is let's aim for 80-20, making sure that 20% of the food that you're having it's fun food, it's food that gives you excitement, it's give you joy, but let's also make sure that the 80% of the rest of the food is actually filling your belly, making your bones stronger, and making your muscle grow, making sure that you sleep well, that you don't wake up in the middle of the night because you're parched and you're feeling stuffed. And also when it comes to training, yes, yoga, Pilates, walking, they all have a place, but if that's not enough for a woman, let's find a way. Let's find a way for that woman to move her body the way that she wants. And obviously, our approach is very customized. So, as you beautifully said before, if we had a woman that wanted to get pregnant within the next three months, then obviously we would get her started on preconception right away. And maybe
Absolutely.
joining a gym, it wouldn't be the most optimal things to do. But if we had someone that is absolutely shit scared of doing recovery, that doesn't want to change her physique, that doesn't want to stop training, that is afraid of eating more calories, that's someone that we can definitely help in a variety of ways. And do you want to talk more about that and the way that you would approach a scenario when someone is actually keen to get the period back, but it doesn't want to stop training, is not interested in that, and she wants to do it in a more steady, holistic, and more approachable way, really?
For one, just doubling back on you training again, I'm so excited and I can't wait to see the results that you get. It's just the best. And when it comes to customizing the approach, in the most simplest terms I can put it is when you come to us, we're here to serve you, right? Like you come to us with a goal and we're here to help you achieve it. We're not here to be a bossy boots who grills you on all the things you're not doing. We're here to go, okay, well, you're currently here. Here's where you want to be. Where's the path of least resistance? Knowing that each week is a different week and we tweak different things and we identify the bigger challenges and the smaller challenges, and we pave a path that you feel confident to take, right? Because I think so many women get afraid because they feel like unless they do it this one way, they can't do it. And it's just not true. If it's one thing you and I have learned through all the women that we've helped is everyone's path is different. The fundamentals are the same, yes, but the way they use those fundamentals is it varies across the board. And those of you who are listening, you know that because when you go on these Facebook groups, when you listen to the podcast, when you watch Claudia's lives on her YouTube, you hear the stories of women's recovery. Some train, some don't, some still eat clean, some eat the junk food, some have night shift, some don't work night shift. The stories vary, but those little things don't matter. So whenever you listen, you go, well, I can't relate to that because I'm not that person. You don't have to be any person. You just have to be you. You just have to come to us with the willingness to heal. And we're here to guide you the way, not to boss you into it. Like essentially, this is something you want, right? And we're here to support you through it in the easiest way possible. And that is the path of least resistance. Yes, there will be times where you'll face challenges, but with the challenges comes growth. And for most women who fall into HA, half the reason we're here is because we love a challenge that much. We took it a bit too far. But if we can harness that and use it for recovery, it changes everything.
Yeah. And you said it beautifully. We welcome women wherever they are. So if they come to us and they let us know, this is my starting point, and that's where I would like to be within the next 3 months, which is normally a question that I ask as soon as I meet them. Where do you see yourself in 3 months or 6 months? Where would you like to be? And as soon as we understand their goals, then we put everything in motions, and results are going to happen like a domino effect if obviously someone is committed to do the work, because sometimes it can be challenging. There are things that we are going to need from them, but we have seen incredible results. And shall we speak more about the changes that we have seen in women that have worked with us? We saw, for example, let's talk about Jody. She went from training, under eating, and now she's back to training 5 days a week after getting her period back. And she's the leanest that she has ever been. We have seen Dory.
Well, Rachel's going to come on the podcast soon.
Oh, Rachel,
And
she's
so
gonna come again.
yeah,
Awesome.
so she did the HA recovery protocol and she's been training for over 12, 16 weeks now. And she's back doing HIIT workouts. She's doing unassisted chin-ups. Yes,
Yay!
all
I'm
by
gonna get there
herself.
one day.
Yes, yes, let's program it in. And she's the strongest she's been, right? She's
Absolutely.
back doing HIIT workouts. There's you can achieve what you want to, right? It's just you need strategy. And I think a lot of the time when women end up in HA, we have rules, but we don't have a strategy. So if you want to be a top performer and you want to get stronger and you want to run faster and you want to do all those awesome things, you can. But we're not just going to go in the gym and go crazy like a kid on the playground and then walk out and expecting everything's going to be okay, right? We're actually going to go in with a plan, but plans lead to the best results. And we're seeing that firsthand with, I guess that's the beauty of the timelines that we've got, Claudia. We kind of go through the HA recovery phase and we see women transition through. And even myself, 6 years on from having HA, I still feel like I'm learning new things about my body. And now you've returned back to doing some resistance training yourself. I'm sure you're still learning new things about your body.
Oh
And
my
that's part of
goodness,
it.
yeah.
It's the best part,
Yeah.
right? Because we learn how to read these messages. And if you don't know how to read the messages, that's something we teach you, right? How to interpret those messages.
Yeah.
And it's a forever journey. But the difference is you go from feeling like everything's uncertain and you can't trust it and is my period going to show up to I know it's going to show up and I love my training and I'm enjoying my physique because I think I'm going to go on a raven rant. I'll cut it short. But essentially, if you care about your physique, that's great. I'm sorry, but if you want to look muscly, you should be allowed to want to look muscly, but let's do it in a way that serves your body, not works against it.
And normally what I say is that we don't lack knowledge. We just lack accountability and implementation. So exactly what you said. It's all about the strategy. If you want to reach something in life, ask for help, reach out, and then you're going to be able to achieve that. That's how I see it. Can be as simple as that. Now, Jade, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. And for all the women that are listening to us, if you think that this is resonating with you, and if you're actually craving guidance, a strategy, if you want a nutritionist that is going to through all your meals, your food plans, your diary, your diet diary, and if you want a PT that is going to go through your training program, and if you want to have two professionals, basically just a click of finger away from you that are going to be there to give you directions on a daily, weekly basis. If you are looking for a community, if you want support, if you're tired of doing this on your own, send us a message. Send us a message, ask for more information. Don't stay stuck. Don't sit where you are. Raise your hand. It's so much easier when things are done with the help of someone that actually knows the path and with the support of a community. Is there anything else that you would like to add, Jade?
Oh, I just want to thank you for your time today and opening up this conversation because I feel like if the HA space needs to move in any direction, it's the direction where women know that going back to exercise is a really good idea rather than running scared. So I'm excited to be the ones that are helping lead that thought process because so many women choose not to recover because of it. And it's a bit sad when really we can have it all. It just takes
Proper
a strategy.
food, proper training, proper mindset, proper health. And we are here to serve. We're looking to help as many women as we can in our lifetime. So if this this video, this podcast resonates with you, you know exactly where to find us. You just have to click on the links below. All righty. Thank you, Jade. And I will see you for the next live.
Oh, I can't wait. Bye-bye.
Bye.